What's up? I'm Jason Currier with the Calaveras Enterprise and Sierra Lodestar, and with me today is my special guest, the new owner and publisher of the Calaveras Enterprise, Corissa Davidson. Corissa, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's start with how long you have been in the county. How did you end up in Calaveras County?
We moved up here in 1994. We had family in the county. My aunt and my cousin was here, and we wanted to have a better relationship, more contact with them. So we moved up here for that.
Nice. So like high school years, middle school years, somewhere in there?
I was in high school. Graduated from Bret Harte.
Got you. I'm a Calaveras kid.
Opposites.
What are some of then your fond memories growing up here in the county and in the area and being a youth in Calaveras County?
Youth in Calaveras County. There wasn't much to do. I remember a roller rink that opened at one time that we really had a lot of fun in. Fairs, probably, I remember all the fairs that we attended, and water skiing on the lake or snow skiing in the winter.
Nice. Never been much of a skier. I don't balance very well walking, let alone sledding.
It's fun. My dad was a skier, so it just
fun.
That's why he wanted to move up here, was so he could ski in Bear Valley.
Got you.
Be really close to the slopes.
Okay, got you. Now it's all starting to make sense. The Calaveras Enterprise it's a big year for the Calaveras Enterprise. They're turning 60 this year. Tell us about your personal history here at the newspaper. How did you end up working here? Where did you start out working? Like, what was your position when you first started? That sort of thing.
I started at the Calaveras Enterprise in 2015. They hired me as a front desk to just answer phones and deal with people that walked through the door. I hadn't worked in 10 years because I was a stay-at-home mom with my kids. So for me, it was quite the adjustment to get back into the workforce.
I'd say so.
But the business fascinated me, so anytime anybody needed help with anything, I just dived right in and tried to help them out, whether it was the editor or production team, or it didn't really matter. I was just fascinated and wanted to learn everything, so I helped just about anybody that needed anything. So I learned a lot about the business, and over the years I've done the classifieds and legals. I did some sales. I've delivered papers when necessary. Wrote a column for a couple of years. So I've
a little bit of everything, literally.
A little bit of everything in the building. So
that's quite a path to go from working the front desk to wearing a lot of hats to now you own the place and you're the boss. Like that's quite a path.
It is not normal. It's an unusual path, but
it's your path, though.
I think it's helped me to know what everybody's doing in the building now, being the owner. A lot of times,
since you've done it all, literally.
Right. A lot of times the editor becomes the owner, and they don't understand the sales team, or they don't understand. So I think having some writing experience, having some sales experience, that all blends together, and I think it helps us work better as a team.
Nice.
So,
as your team and as a newspaper as a whole, what would you say is one of the more important goals of the newspaper itself? Not only, especially being a small town newspaper, what would you say is an important goal of the newspaper itself?
I think the most important thing for me is to get information to the public. When I first started working here, it was about 4 or 5 months before the Butte fire came through.
Oh.
And I watched our team pull together to get the information out. It was necessary. It was vital. It had to be accurate. It didn't just take one person that was out there to do it. It took the whole office to get the information out there, to double check and make sure it was accurate before it went out. And that really stuck with me. And it made me fall in love with newspapers. It's just so important to be able to get it right and to get it out fast. When your life is depending on it, there's no other choice. The community needs that information from a source that they know is going to have it accurate. It needs to be a trusted source.
Trusted information source. So would you say that coming in before you started working here, did you always have like a kind of a fascination with newspapers and with media and that sort of thing, or is it something that while you were here and the Butte fire happened and that really opened your eyes to, like, is that what made you quote unquote fall in love with print media? Or
I never read a newspaper before I started working here. I mean, we had the Wall Street Times at home, but that's really boring. So I can't say that I really ever had any kind of relationship with print until I started working here. But I don't know, just that whole situation, it gave me, I thought there was a reporter and an editor and that was it when it came to newspapers. Right. I don't know, I was very naive. I didn't, oh yeah, I guess it would take salespeople. Oh yeah, I guess you need somebody to do bookkeeping. I was just very naive when it came to newspapers. I had a really naive view of what went on in the newsroom, right. Typewriters and cigar smoking. I don't know, that's how the right. Hollywood portrays it, right? So yeah, it was a definitely different look from what I expected when I started working here. And then yeah, I just fell in love with it. The people, it's the different people that are drawn to the news media. A lot of times they're honest and they're looking for truth, and it's just, you don't fit anywhere else. I always had this feeling that I was a round peg in a square hole. I never really fit in with any group. Right. I could go between all the groups and talk to everybody, but I didn't have my spot where all these people are like me. And when I started working here, I really felt like this was my family. I was meant to be around these people. We all have the same sense of humor. We all have the same, it's a different. And even when you go visit and you're talking to other people that are in the newspaper industry, they have that same, we just flow together conversation. Really? It's just, it's different. This is where I belong. So, yeah.
That's very cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Similar question as the last. Being a small town newspaper, what would you say is the most important duty of the newspaper, of any newspaper, let alone a small town newspaper, but especially a small town newspaper?
I think the most important thing we can do is keep the public informed, whether it's events going on or whether it's theater events, the arts, what's going on in the art community, what's going on with your local government, what's going on with the businesses in the county. I think the most important thing that we can do is keep people informed. That doesn't mean we need to tell you what to think or how to think, but we need to tell you what's going on, keep people accountable. We're all adults. We're all smart enough to make our own opinions and our own decisions on what's right and wrong. But the community newspaper's job is to give you a place to have that open debate and to inform you what's going on so that you can be part of that democratic process. Right. And if you don't have somebody keeping tabs on everything that's going on, keeping their finger on the wire, so to speak, you don't have that information that you need as a citizen to be proactive or to get involved in what's important to you. And I think that's the most important thing that I think we need to be doing as a community newspaper, is keeping people informed about everything that's going on, not just one thing, or not just the government, not just local businesses. We kind of need to let people know everything that's going on. If arts are important, then they need to know where they can go to support that. Right. If the government is making decisions you don't like, you need to be informed so that you can make those phone calls and that you can write those letters. If they're doing something that you do like, you need to write those letters and make those phone calls. It's just, that's the most important thing that I think we need to be doing, is to keep people informed of everything going on without our opinions involved. We all have them, but you should never be able to tell me what I'm thinking by something that you're reading in our paper.
Would you say that's the most difficult line to walk, is that right there, is getting the information out there without your opinion in it? I
think we all have opinions, and most people have very strong opinions. You don't, or you have no opinion at all on that subject. If you have an opinion, it's usually a strong one, and it depends on the topic. But I think that keeping your point of view out of it. I've seen some writers that go too far the other way because they know they have a bias, so they tell the other side stronger to balance their opinion out, and then I've seen them give too much of their opinion in an article when they really just need to, we just want the information. But it is a difficult line to walk because you are human and you do have opinions. I tell people, leave your opinions at the door when you come in. You have no opinions, you have no political views, you have no religion, you have nothing when you come in the door. But that's really hard to do in real life.
Reality, easy to say, more difficult to actually do.
It's an awesome principle, but realistically, it's really hard when you have a really strong opinion about something, or especially if it hits a nerve.
Right.
If you've been through some tragedy or some trauma, it's going to hit a nerve, and it's really hard to focus on that. So the best thing that I think we can do is not give a reporter something that's going to hit that trigger wire.
Right.
And that means you need to know your staff, and you need to know, what they can cover unbiased, objectively, and what they can't.
I would imagine that's a difficult line to walk.
It is very difficult.
Especially after a reporter, the more they learn about that subject, the more opinionated they can become.
Right.
Right.
But, I think all of our writers at the moment have been very diligent about trying to keep their opinions out of it. And sometimes, and I think our editor is pretty good about going through, and if it does, trying to correct that situation. So.
Fine line.
Fine line to walk.
Fine line. Well, thank you guys for joining us today. If you could please hit that subscribe button, and also subscribe to the Calaveras Enterprise. We've got plenty of newspapers to give you. So subscribe today. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See, that wasn't so difficult.
Stay informed and subscribe to the Calaveras Enterprise today. You can give us a call at 209-754-3861. You can send us an email at subscribe@calaverasenterprise.com, or you can visit us on the web at calaverasenterprise.com.